What's up, y'all? It's Kevin Redline. I know it's been a minute. I had a lot going on. It was a certification I needed to get for work, so I had to dial in for that. I also had back-to-back birthdays within the family that I needed to take care of. So, I just wanted to focus in on that and then come back to talk about the Ravens, of course. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is, Bucky Brooks said what he said about Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh, and that kind of had me thinking. Most people have the stance that Lamar Jackson saved John Harbaugh's job, but I think that is really John Harbaugh who saved John Harbaugh's job. And when I say this, the biggest reason for me saying this is that John really took a chance on Lamar. Not only when, this whole time he kind of been prepping to have a more mobile quarterback, and he's wanted that. But when he decided to start Lamar Jackson when Joe Flacco got injured, that was a gamble. And granted, his back was in the corner. His back was against the wall, but it was something that he did. And the thing that impressed me was the fact that he stuck his neck out on the line for Lamar Jackson and stuck with him when he struggled in the playoffs, where most coaches probably would have put their former Super Bowl MVP back in there, especially when he's known for performing well in the Super Bowl, even though I think that's kind of inflated. I think it was more the tools around Joe Flacco, but, just getting off topic a little bit. But nonetheless, Joe Flacco was always known for, being playoff Joe, where he would take over. And for John to stick with Lamar, he really put things on the line at that point. The fans weren't in his corner with that decision. I don't know how, management felt about it, but he stuck with Lamar. And that is something that I appreciate about John. That's why when people were calling for John to lose his job, it's kind of like, what else is out there? I'm cool with John. I like his style, even though sometimes he can get a little too comfortable with his crew, for the fact that he took a risk on a player that nobody else wanted to. And anybody else that wanted to take that risk on Lamar, they wanted him to, play receiver or do this and that, when John was the complete opposite. He wanted that mobile quarterback that could kind of get things done with his legs or with his arm. Now, that's why I never been in the camp that said Lamar Jackson saved John Harbaugh's job. Him being successful definitely helped John Harbaugh, but John Harbaugh's decisions as a head coach and to take that risk is what saved John's job. So essentially, he saved his own job. And just to kind of talk about a couple of other things, it's like, I don't get why it's like it's definitely a slow time, because the Ravens are a popular team now. So some of the headlines that come out are just ridiculous. I'd rather them just not talk about us. And that's kind of crazy, because back in the days, I was dying for some content about the Ravens. I was just desperate for extra content about the Ravens. But the ridiculous stories, them talking about contract talks and will he be signed by this time, and I get it. It's a story. It's compelling, especially when you have no football. But and then another thing, people, like, they're acting as if his mom can't be his manager or it's gonna hurt him. Like, she has his best interests at heart. So I don't get what the big deal about that is. And somebody, I think it's Sarah Ellison, she brought up a good point. There have been no leaks about numbers or anything. All that we hear is that there are contract talks. He's negotiating his contract. And you know what? I prefer that. When he gets signed, he gets signed. He could be changing the game and how these players work things out as far as, selecting a manager and, negotiating their own contracts. So, I mean, it's just, all these things make me just feel desperate for the football season to start. And that's the crazy thing about summertime. It's like, it's a time where you take vacations and you do things that you like, because, during the winter, if you have kids, they're in school, so you can't really go away that often, and more, and then you have all the holidays where family comes in, and it's more of a stay at home time. But it's also football season, and in the summertime it's like no football, and you want it back so much, but it's like, man, I still want to enjoy the warm weather. I still want to enjoy the summer. And as an adult, time flies. So football season will be here in no time. But all these ridiculous stories, all the speculation, all that stuff really just puts me in a position where I'm just desperate for actual football to come back. But you guys, with all that being said, I am going to be, try to keep up with all the stories that's going on. I don't have too much on my plate at the moment. Things are going smooth at work. Things are going smooth. As far as these back-to-back birthdays, I get a nice little break until next month. But it's not too much on my plate so that I can't continue to make videos. And again, like I always say, I appreciate all you guys for checking out the videos. I appreciate you guys for subscribing. Hey, I'm back. More videos will be on the way. I'll holla at y'all.